The shocking truth behind luxury fashion they don't want you to know. Would you recognize power if it didn't look the way you expected? Cassandra Lee stepped into Levi Sloan, the luxury boutique that bore her name. She blended in effortlessly as just another customer, dressed in a simple trench coat and polished loafers. There were no designer logos screaming status, no entourage trailing behind. She didn't need any of that. She had built this empire with her own hands. Today, however, she wasn't walking in as the CEO. She was there to test the integrity of her brand. The boutique radiated opulence. Marble floors shimmered under the soft lighting. Handbags and accessories sat on velvet pedestals like art pieces in a gallery. Cassandra brushed her fingers over the fine leather of a signature handbag, admiring its craftsmanship. "Can I help you?" The voice was cool and measured. A young sales associate, Vanessa Brooks, stood a few feet away. Her blonde hair was perfectly styled, her attire immaculate. Her expression remained unreadable, but Cassandra saw it immediately. The subtle calculation, the quiet judgment. "I'd like to see the new collection," Cassandra said evenly. Vanessa's eyes flicked over her outfit. No obvious symbols of wealth. Just a woman who was dressed well, but simply. "Of course," Vanessa said flatly, gesturing to a nearby table. "You might find something more affordable over here." Cassandra absorbed the word, affordable. A polite insult wrapped in an assumption. She turned slightly and pointed to a handbag inside a glass case. It was the most expensive item in the boutique. "I'd like to see that one," she said. Vanessa hesitated before forcing a smile. "That's a very exclusive piece," she said, not moving to unlock the case. Her words hung in the air. Cassandra remained composed, though her grip on her handbag tightened slightly. "It's not for everyone," Vanessa added, her voice laced with condescension. Silence filled the space between them. Cassandra had stood in this exact place years ago, on the other side of the counter, fresh out of fashion school, hustling to prove her worth. "I'd still like to see it," Cassandra repeated. Before Vanessa could reply, another voice interjected. "Is there a problem here?" Monica Green, the boutique manager, approached. Older and more refined, she carried the authority of someone who ran things with precision. Her eyes scanned the situation, taking in Cassandra, the handbag, and Vanessa's hesitance. "No problem," Vanessa said quickly. "Just assisting." She hadn't even asked for Cassandra's name. Monica's sharp eyes narrowed slightly. "Ma'am," she said smoothly, "this boutique caters to a very particular clientele. If you're looking for something more suitable, we have other accessories in a more comfortable price range." A hush fell over the boutique. Cassandra could feel the stares of other customers, their interest hidden behind faux indifference. She had a choice: walk out and let their assumptions remain, or remind them exactly who she was. Reaching into her handbag, Cassandra pulled out her phone. "Jonathan, come to the Midtown store." "Now." Vanessa and Monica exchanged uneasy glances. Minutes passed. Then the boutique doors opened. Jonathan Price, CFO of Levi Sloan, entered. His tailored suit was crisp, his silver glasses sharp against his deep brown skin. Two others followed behind him, one a legal advisor, the other corporate security. Vanessa straightened instinctively. Monica's posture stiffened. Jonathan spotted Cassandra and offered a respectful nod. "Mrs. Lee," he greeted, his voice firm and even. "We weren't expecting you today." The boutique fell into a stunned silence. Vanessa's breath caught in her throat. Monica blinked, the realization dawning. Mrs. Lee, the woman they had dismissed, the woman they had subtly humiliated, their boss. Cassandra met Vanessa's eyes, then Monica's. She watched the shift from confusion to fear. Vanessa shifted her weight. Monica's fingers twitched at her sides. "Thank you for coming so quickly," Cassandra said to Jonathan, her voice calm but steely. "I had a rather enlightening experience here today." Jonathan's jaw tightened. He knew that tone. When Cassandra Lee was angry, it meant the earth was about to shift. "Would you like to speak in private?" he asked quietly. Cassandra shook her head. "No, I think it's important that everyone hears this." Another sharp silence. She turned back to Vanessa and Monica, her expression unreadable. "Do you know who I am?" she asked, her voice low but deliberate. Monica recovered first. "Mrs. Lee." Cassandra raised a hand, stopping her. "You didn't know. You judged me the moment I walked in. My coat, my shoes, my lack of visible wealth. You decided I didn't belong here." Vanessa opened her mouth. "Mrs. Lee, I didn't mean—" "Yes, you did." Cassandra cut in, still composed. "You meant to put me in my place. You wanted me to feel small." Vanessa's eyes shimmered, but she said nothing. Monica tried a different angle. "We do have policies on exclusivity and—" "Exclusivity?" Cassandra interrupted. "What exactly is exclusive about Levi Sloan, Monica?" Monica hesitated. "We serve a clientele that values luxury," she said slowly. "And you decided I wasn't one of them." Neither woman spoke. Cassandra exhaled. This brand was built to be both elegant and inclusive. Today, I saw a side of it that we failed to correct. Jonathan looked at her. "What would you like to do?" Cassandra turned to Vanessa and Monica. "Effective immediately," she said, "we will begin a full review of our hiring and training protocols. Every employee at this location will undergo retraining." She paused. As for these two, Vanessa stiffened. Monica clenched her jaw. "They will no longer represent Levi Sloan." Vanessa gasped. Monica nodded, resigned. Cassandra turned to Jonathan. "Handle the rest." "Of course." Without another word, Cassandra walked past the very handbag she had been denied. As she stepped out onto the sidewalk, arms crossed, she watched the city pulse around her. Jonathan joined her a moment later. "It's done," he said. She nodded. "This isn't just about one store." "I know," he said quietly. "I built Levi Sloan to be different," she said. "I remember being ignored in boutiques, brushed off like I didn't belong. I swore this brand would never become that." "What are you thinking?" Jonathan asked. Cassandra looked back at the boutique. "I'm thinking it's time we clean house." The next morning, Levi Sloan released a statement. "Luxury is not about exclusion. It is about excellence, craftsmanship, and integrity. We lost sight of that. That changes today." The story exploded. Cassandra Lee, CEO of one of the most prestigious fashion houses, had been discriminated against in her own boutique and had made it public. Some called her bold. Others called her reckless. Everyone was watching. Behind closed doors, executives sat stiffly as Cassandra stood at the head of a long table, the Boston skyline glimmering behind her. "I assume you've seen the news," she said. Silence. "Good," she said. "Here's what happens next." She outlined a sweeping reform, a total overhaul of hiring practices, mandatory inclusivity training, and comprehensive evaluations of customer experience at every boutique. "This isn't up for debate," she said flatly. "We don't need customers who think discrimination is acceptable. If they leave, we never wanted them anyway." No one argued. Within days, other luxury brands took notice. Internal reviews were launched. Quiet meetings turned into urgent calls. Levi Sloan had sparked something bigger. A week later, Cassandra returned to the Fifth Avenue boutique. No press. No annoncement. Just her. The atmosphere was transformed. Staff greeted everyone with warmth. An older man admired a leather briefcase and received genuine help. A teenager in sneakers examined a silk scarf and was treated like royalty. And there it was. The same handbag. Cassandra approached. A young associate smiled at her. "Would like to take a closer look?" she asked. "No hesitation." Cassandra pulled out her card. "I'll take it." As she stepped outside, the city buzzed on. But Cassandra Lee felt something she hadn't in a long time. Pride. Not because of the leather, the price tag, or the boutique, but because of the change it now stood for. And it was only the beginning.